Hello, crafty friends. This is Anya General with Ink, Paper, Scissors. Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you're here. Today, we'll be taking a closer look at Altenew's Pigment inks. We will test them with the BetterPress system while creating a couple of vintage and elegant floral cards, featuring the Craft A Flower Grand Dahlia die set and the beautiful Making Moments BetterPress plate. Along the way, I'll share my thoughts on how the different ink pad styles perform with BetterPress, show you a few tips for getting great impressions, and finish the cards with gorgeous layered flowers created using Altenew's Grand Dahlia die set. If you'd like to recreate these cards, you'll find links to all of the supplies I used, along with the special Altenew discount code, in the video description below and over on my blog. And before we get started, if you're new here and enjoy card making tutorials filled with techniques, product reviews, and creative inspiration, I'd love for you to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Now let's get crafty. Today, I'm testing out one of Altenew's permanent gray pigment inks with the BetterPress system, and I couldn't wait to see how it would perform. I start by placing my BetterPress plate onto the BetterPress platform. Then I secure my cardstock to the platform door using Best Craft tape from Spellbinders. Keeping the cardstock in place helps ensure everything stays perfectly aligned as it goes through the machine. Next, I ink up the plate with the permanent gray pigment ink. This is a beautiful light gray, and I always love having a soft, neutral ink like this in my collection. It's perfect for creating subtle backgrounds that add interest without competing with your focal images. One thing that really caught my attention is the ink pad itself. Most pigment inks come on a foam pad, but this one has a felt pad, which is pretty unusual. I was curious to see how a felt pigment pad would perform with BetterPress. Once the plate is evenly inked, I place the clear plastic top onto the BetterPress platform and run everything through my Spellbinders Platinum 6. Generally, I prefer a felt pad to a foam pad when using the BetterPress system. I will explain why in a little while. I love that Altenew manufactured a pigment ink into a felt pad. I really like the results. The impression is soft and subtle, which is exactly what I was hoping for. One thing I did notice, though, is that the area where my tape was holding the cardstock in place created a slightly deeper impression. It's a good reminder that even little details like your choice of tape can affect the final result. So on my next background, I'll experiment with a different tape to see if I can eliminate those marks. Now I'm creating a second background, but this time I'm making one small change. Instead of using the Best Craft tape, I'm switching to highlighter tape to hold my cardstock in place. Since I noticed a slightly deeper impression where the tape was on my first panel, I wanted to see if using a different tape would make a difference. The process itself is exactly the same, but this time I'm inking up the plate with Altenew's Rose Gold Pigment ink. One thing you'll notice right away is that this ink pad is different from the gray one. Instead of a felt pad, this color uses a foam pad, so I applied the ink with a light tapping motion. That helps ink only the raised lettering on the BetterPress plate and avoids getting excess ink on the recessed background areas. Once the plate is evenly inked, I place it back into the BetterPress platform and run it through my Spellbinders Platinum 6. Just like the first panel, I'm really happy with these results. The rose gold gives a beautiful, rich impression. And it's fun to see how differently the two ink pad styles perform while still producing crisp BetterPress backgrounds. One thing I learned from this comparison is that the highlighter tape didn't leave the deeper impressions I noticed earlier, making it a better choice for securing the cardstock while BetterPressing. The felt ink pad was also easier to use on a BetterPress plate, where you want to avoid inking up the recessed background. With my backgrounds finished, it's time to create the floral elements for my cards. Using the Craft a Flower Grand Dahlia die set, I'm die cutting 3 of the smaller dahlias along with plenty of the coordinating leaves from white cardstock. Since the die cutting process is repetitive, I thought this would be the perfect time to share a couple of exciting announcements. Altenew has graciously provided a special discount just for my viewers. From now through July 31st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, you can save $5 on any order of $55 or more. I'll have the discount code on the screen, and you'll also find all of the details along with the supply links in the video description below. Altenew is also generously sponsoring an Instagram giveaway. I'll be giving away a $20 Altenew gift card to one lucky winner. To enter, simply head over to my Instagram page and leave a comment on one of the cards I'm creating in today's video. Be sure to check the giveaway post for all of the entry details and the winner announcement date. Good luck! Now I'll let you relax and enjoy the ink blending while I bring these flowers to life, and then I'll be back to show you how everything comes together. Now that all of my die-cut pieces are ready, it's time to assemble the flowers. One of the things I love about the Craft of Flower Grant Dahlia die set is Altenew's keyhole system. Each layer has a small alignment guide, so you simply match the keyhole symbols as you stack the pieces together. It takes the guesswork out of layering and makes assembling these flowers quick and easy. Since I chose to leave most of the flower petals white, I want to add a little more contrast to the background so the flowers really stand out. To create a soft vintage look, I'm lightly ink blending Shattered Shell around the edges of the BetterPress panel. This subtle shading helps draw your eye toward the center of the card without overpowering the delicate background. Then I deepen just the very outer edge with paper bag. Using a darker color only around the perimeter creates a gentle vignette effect and adds a little more depth and warmth to the design. Now comes one of my favorite parts, arranging all of the floral pieces. Before reaching for any adhesive, I like to move the flowers and leaves around until I'm happy with the composition. Taking a minute to experiment with the placement helps create a balanced design and lets me see exactly where I want each element before committing everything to the card. Now it's time to bring everything together. Once I'm happy with the arrangement, I begin adhering the flowers and leaves to the card front. I like to start with the pieces that sit furthest in the background and gradually build forward. Working in layers makes it much easier to keep the arrangement looking just the way I planned. As I assemble the bouquet, I'm tucking a few of the leaves behind the flowers and slightly overlapping some of the blooms. Those little adjustments add dimension and help the arrangement look more natural and full. Before gluing everything down permanently, don't be afraid to move the pieces around a bit. Sometimes shifting a flower or turning a leaf just slightly can make a big difference in the overall balance of your design. Now that you've seen how I put everything together, I'll let some music play while I finish assembling both cards, and then we'll take a look at the finished projects. And here are the finished cards. I absolutely love how these turned out. The soft BetterPress backgrounds paired with the layered white dahlias create such an elegant look, and I really enjoyed comparing the two different Altenew Pigment ink pads. It was interesting to see how each one required a slightly different inking technique while still producing beautiful BetterPress impressions. I'd love to know what you think. Have you tried these new Altenew Pigment inks yet? And which background is your favorite, the soft gray or the rose gold? Let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to recreate these cards, you'll find links to all of the products I used, along with the special Altenew discount code in the video description and on my blog. And don't forget to head over to my Instagram to enter the giveaway for a chance to win a $20 Altenew gift card. If you enjoyed today's tutorial, I'd really appreciate it if you'd give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I share new card making tutorials, techniques, and product inspiration every week. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Until next time, happy crafting!